What's going on, everybody? Snowski here, coming back with another YouTube video. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Coming into today's video. Today's video is going to be a trade recap. It is currently Tuesday, March the 31st, 1:52 p.m. New York local time. Coming into today's video, we're going to be covering a 30-minute power of 3 open, low, high, close trade that I took within our opening bell of NQ today, profiting me a total group P&L of $5,905 on 5 TradeFi accounts, max allo. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Of course, coming into today's video, before we actually hop into it, guys, if you guys aren't already part of Collectors Club, my 100% free Discord server where I'm constantly putting out free lectures, free lessons for you guys almost every single week, join that up. The link will be in the description. If you guys aren't already familiar with my content, my name is Snowski. I am a SMC and QT trader. I personally use and actually teach QT and SMC. If you guys are at all curious, join the Discord server. You guys can constantly see the free content I'm putting. But hopping into today's video that made me almost $6,000 on NQ today, a lot of you guys are curious on what told me that the markets were going to be bullish today. As you can see, my narrative was correct, my 30-minute power of 3 was correct, and well, my trade idea was textbook. Now, some people understood this with a QT background, some people didn't. Of course, you guys are here for the breakdown and understanding of what I took, so let's hop into the higher time frames. We are currently on the daily time frame. We have our triad NQ. To the left we have ES, and to the right we have YM. Now, of course, if you guys are unfamiliar with QT and SMC, the whole study of time and price theory is to utilize when price and time align to give us precision in the markets. Coming into today's video, very self-explanatory. What told me that I was expecting a bullish bias? Now, we can obviously see coming into morning open, a lot of people were conflicted. Now, what was this confliction about was pretty much self-explanatory due to the fact that we had conflicting sequentials. Now, sequentials are, as we know, time-based SMTs or divergences. Now, before 10 a.m., of course, coming into opening bell, we had conflicting divergences. We had SMT with our previous day high, and we had SMT with our previous day low. A lot of people saw this as conflicting, right? A lot of people saw this as, okay, I'm a little confused here. What exactly do I think is likely to occur? And what I broke down within my private mentorship students is how we're expecting bullish prices, not simply due to the factors of our conflicting, previous day and previous day low SMT, which we consider weekly sequentials, more because of what structure and our weekly power of 3 development is doing. Okay, now we're going to start making all this sense, so don't worry if you're confused now. Everything's going to start to pair together. Just listen in, tune in, take notes. Everything will make sense. Utilizing power of 3, which is our price within our time and price theory, and QT, which is our time aspect, right? Time more as sequential SMTs, which we know as SSMTs. We can always understand where the market's lacking manipulation and distribution. We understand manipulation for any power of 3, right? You think of power of 3, what are you likely to have? You're likely to have an accumulation stage where you're going to engineer stops, you're going to manipulate, and then you're going to distribute. On the low of this manipulation, you are likely to see some type of SMT. But due to time and price theory, we get more precise within not just any SMT, but sequential SMT, and more specifically, time-based SMT given its specific cycle. So now let's think about it. If we are to reference to our ICT higher time frame candles, which we have our weekly power of 3, we can see ever since yesterday, today being Tuesday, our quarter 2 of our weekly power of 3, we opened up and pretty much manipulated on both sides of the market. Now, coming into today specifically, during Asia, we put in weekly sequential with our previous day low below our weekly opening price, and more importantly, our, true week opening price. Understand, true opens are as important as key opens. So as of right now, our weekly opening price, which we can reference to right there, and our true week opening price are both mitigated. Mitigating meaning we have a weekly sequential at low of the day. So let's start pairing everything together. How did I develop a bullish bias to go against the bearish weekly sequential that was conflicting us on morning open? Many things. One, let's reference to our higher time frame, daily time frame. As of right now, our daily time frame has not only SMT with our previous day low, which we can see YM failing to do the damage as NQ and ES purging our previous day low. This was what formed our weekly sequential. Now, according to QT, there was also a few more divergences at this low that a lot of people may see, but obviously behind a paid wall that I teach, I can't necessarily go out and teach everything within QT. I only can hint to it. There was two more higher time frame cracking correlations at this low when we put in SMT with our previous day low, which formed a weekly sequential. Now, coming into the development of our weekly power of 3, it's very, very self-explanatory that, okay, if yesterday was quarter 1, and we understand the foundation of quarter 1 is always going to dictate what the remaining quarters are going to do, quarter 1 was our accumulation stage. Now, how do I know this? How do I differ expansion to accumulation? It's as simple as accumulation and accumulating stops. Engineering. That is pretty much the definition of accumulation quarter. So now we see yesterday pumped, and well, at the very high of the day, put in no sequential. At the low of the day, put in no sequential. So we could see at the high of the day and the low of the day, both engineered with a lack of external SSMTs, meaning they're engineered for upcoming quarters to take out. So our most important aspect coming into today is to pretty much decide, are we in a manipulation or accumulation stage of our weekly power of 3? Was Monday expansion or was Monday accumulation, right? And it's very, very easy to see that, okay, immediately off of Asia opening, which I'm actually going to, just for the sake of this video, take this off because it's actually in the way of the chart. There we go. We can easily see that coming into the low of the day, we formed SMT with our previous day low. That SMT with our previous day low formed, validating us for what we were expecting our weekly power of 3 to be. So we can see we accumulated, manipulated, purged the sell stops of our previous day low, forming weekly sequential as YM failed to do the damage, developing a bullish bias. Coming to the 4-hour. What do we see? Bullish 4-hour BPR, but more importantly, 4-hour SMTF. SMTFs are a continuation array that we can utilize for structure alignment. We can see change in state coming into overnight. Change of state, 4-hour SMTF, weekly sequential with previous day low, below weekly opening and true week opening price. It is only telling us that if structure and time are aligned for bullish narrative and our higher time frame daily chart, if it wants to load, hello, any day now. There we go. If our daily time frame chart is invalidating bearish structure and putting in bullish sequentials to prove that we manipulated overnight and now we are currently in a distribution portion, right? Always remember, time distortion, it's a big thing. What does this mean exactly? If we manipulate in Asia, this dictates the entire day as quarter 2 of our weekly power of 3 for manipulation of our weekly power of 3, right? It dictates that Tuesday is manipulation, but it does not mean that we're going to stop moving. What we're going to do is we're going to basically move into a distribution sequence, or I guess you could say volume. We're going to pick up a distribution run, which is this entire buy side of the curve, and then we're going to engineer for tomorrow to clear out, as tomorrow is the real distribution phase. So now we can see, what do we have? Weekly sequential on low of the day in Asia. Coming into previous session low, we formed a session to session SMT, which we can further known as DC sequential, right? We can see this on the 15-minute time frame if we reference to right here. We can see DC sequential as YM purged the stops of our previous session low and NQ and ES failed to. During this, coming into morning open, what did I want to see? It is super simple, guys. When you guys are utilizing the way that I currently trade, even though it can get very, very strategic, you don't have to make it complicated. You really don't. You look at the higher time frames, you see, okay, our higher time frame currently has day-to-day SMT. This is weekly sequential. It validates true week and weekly opening price for open, low, high, close. Now we come into true day opening price. True day opening price is London's opening. We form DC below it to validate true day opens manipulation for open, low, high, close. Meaning, if you're coming into opening bell, 30-minute power of 3, you're looking for open, low, high, close. You're looking for a replication of what has already set up, which is pretty much the criteria for continuations. That's as simple as it is. You're looking at what pre-market, what, pre-sessions did, and then you're dictating, okay, are we going to continue that trend, or is there something else that is pretty much conflicting that manner? Now, our daily time frame, our 4-hour time frame, our 1-hour time frame, our previous day low SMT, everything on our higher time frame was dictating higher prices. So the only thing that you want to see on opening bell is continuation criterias, meaning when opening bell opens, which is right down here, which a lot of people can see this as a devil's mark, right? We lacked any delivery below the opening price. That is not necessarily true, right? We're in a triad, meaning another asset could decouple, do something opposing to prove the manipulation is complete, and then NQ is going to reciprocate and move within that trend. So let's see. Initially off of opening, all assets pumped, and then 931 and 932 on YM started manipulating. Right, look over here. We can see YM manipulates below the market, and while we're manipulating below the market, what does it do most importantly? It validates 930's Judas. Open, manipulate below the market, formed 90 cycle and micro sequential at the low, which is our internal sequentials to validate our 930 opening Judas. NQ fails to, right? But think, Devil's Mark. Devil's Mark can really be used for two things. It can use as a draw on price if it fits a narrative, which YM dictating our narrative, NQ kind of telling us we're not going to be going towards 930. It could be used as strength, meaning the market is so bullish, YM is leading the cracking correlations, that this strength in the market is neglecting our opening price. So what are we looking for? Well, we already have our higher time frame context. We already have our weekly sequential, our DC SSMT, our 4-hour continuation SMTF, which we referenced to just a moment ago. We already know that our opening Judas on YM, proving our internal 90-minute and micro, is confirming everything that we need to see to validate higher prices. Meaning, you have your external, you have your internal sequentials, you have structure on the higher time frames, and you have your initial Judas already confirmed. What do you need to wait for? 9 times out of 10, it's an entry. That's literally it. Now, you can obviously get more in depth, wait for more cracking correlations. As you see, we did form on the change in state of delivery that we formed on NQ. We did actually retest that and turtle soup it 933 and YM failed to. We can see this as a 1 minute, I guess you could say SMT, but it's more referenced to as a swing divergence. So we have SMT with our previous candle, YM failed to. This candle is most importantly important because this is the exact candle that not only broke structure and proved our 90-minute and micro sequential, but was our change in state. This was the exact candle that purged liquidity on YM. So seeing this, NQ closing above it, the second we retested it right there, bang, that's my entry, change in state. I had my stop initially at the low of, if I can get that right here, 930's low. Understanding that I wanted to see Devil's Mark hold. I did not want to see price to deliver down here. Once we started pumping a little bit, accumulating, dumped right here, and then this bullish candle right here, this reaction off the change in state, that was immediately where I trailed to the change in state low. And then this candle right here, this third candle at 947, that was break even for me, and bang, TP. Now a lot of people want to know, what was my TP? What was the reason for this? This TP was the exact time and the exact candle that ES on the left ran the stops of our previous day high. Now, understand my entire bias of today was previous day high. We can see previous day high right here, bullish candle right there, bang. The second that ES took that high, I did not want to be in any slight of divergence. I immediately closed my positions, securing myself $5,905 on 5 accounts, Tradeify accounts, max allo. It is beautiful. It is textbook. So for people that were confused today, right? Nothing too complicating, right? If you ever get conflicted with opposing external sequentials, let's say there's a weekly sequential on low and a weekly sequential on the high. If you're ever conflicted, look at the higher time frame structure, look at the expected quarter you're in for the weekly power of 3, and dictate what is likely to happen based off of higher time frame structure. If we accumulated Monday and engineered buy stops and sell stops, but overnight we purged the sell stops first, if there's a bearish weekly sequential, it is very likely that it's only falling behind, meaning YM purged overnight and created a bearish weekly cycle, and NQ is going to open up for opening bell and get us there. And we can see that is exactly what happened. It was beautiful delivery, and honestly, most textbook price action I've seen in a very, very long time. This week has been 100% green for me so far. Yesterday was 4,000. Today was 5,900. I'm like 10K on the week. It is beautiful. Now, of course, if you guys want to see my yesterday's P&L, that was posted to my social medias. But guys, I love you very much. If you guys loved this video, let me know in the comment section below for more. Of course, join the Discord Collectors Club, my 100% free Discord server. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And of course, I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, I'll see you boys at the top. Peace.